Mickey Belaineh, Team elitefts athlete, originally from Arlington, Texas, currently living in Boston, Massachusetts. I just finished law school, just graduated from Harvard Law. I just got done taking my bar exam, pending results, but hopefully I passed. I got into lifting I was literally just trying to, work out at the gym at my college, Texas A&M, and the powerlifting coach, I guess he saw some potential, not quite sure what he saw, but invited me to come check out a team practice. So I went, kind of saw how the team interacted with each other. It just seemed like they had a really cool bond, something that I wanted to be a part of. So I tried out, made the team, and then 8 weeks later I ended up competing and winning at collegiate nationals. And I fell in love with the sport and I've been doing it ever since. And that's what brought me in. But I've grown to love it for a million different reasons. I think ultimately though, it's the complexity of the sport. And that's not to say, training doesn't always have to be super complicated. It's just that it's a beautiful sport in that the technique, the individualization that comes with how to perform a lift. Like you can have 10 different lifters executing a lift perfectly, but they're all going to look somewhat different. Same with programming. It's going to be very individualized. It's going to be different depending on who your coach is, what works for you. The psychological element of it, whether you're somebody that gets really hyped up for a lift or whether you're a more internal lifter. So I currently train at Total Performance Sports, TPS, in Malden, Massachusetts. It's owned by CJ Murphy, a fellow teammate from elitefts. He's been taking care of me in Boston ever since I moved up and needed a place to train. I really owe him a lot. As much shit as Murph gives me, he's had my back ever since I moved up there. So I'm really grateful to have such a great facility and such great people to train with up there. I'm coached by Mike Tertiaire from Reactive Training Systems. You can check out his stuff at reactivetrainingsystems.com. And I've been working with him for the past 2.5 years, ever since I competed at my first IPF Worlds. He trained me for the 8 weeks leading up to that, and I ended up winning my first IPF World. Ended up winning the junior championship for IPF Worlds. Currently, I'm getting ready for USAPL Raw Nationals, which is in about 5.5 weeks or so. So I'm feeling really good going to training. It's my first time in 3 years not training under a super heavy amount of stress that comes with law school and the bar exam. So I'm really excited to kind of see how I do on the platform, being able to really just focus on training and not have kind of a million things going on. So what I'm really working on right now, honestly, technique has really been my biggest focus throughout. I think throughout since I started lifting, I had a coach, or my first coach was very technique driven or really technique focused. Like he wasn't going to let you go up and weight unless you could do it right with the weight that was currently on the bar. And that's something that I've really held on to and I think has been really helpful for me because, working on technique, honestly, usually I think the limiting factor isn't so much strength. Sometimes it is, but usually there's an inefficiency in at least in how I'm moving. And so what I'm really trying to work on right now is bench. My squat and deadlift technique have been pretty consistent. That's not to say that there isn't room to grow, and it's still something I'm constantly working on. But bench has really been the one lift where the technique consistency has been eluding me. I haven't been able to find it and be able to execute it the same way, same rep over and over again. So right now I'm really working, I was working with Molly earlier today on just changing a couple things in my setup and kind of how I was benching. It's different than everybody else that I've ever benched with, but it seems to work better for me. So, working on actually getting leg drive, because I've apparently been benching just with my upper body, which isn't very strong. As you can see from my squat and deadlift and my bench numbers, just they don't go together. So I'm really trying to bring the bench up by utilizing my legs more and keeping tight in my upper back. Easier said than done, but I really think practice makes perfect. So I think we did like 30 or 40 just doubles with 135, just trying to do that same correct movement over and over and over again. And then eventually I'll ideally be able to hold that as I get into the higher and heavier percentages. But yeah, so that's really my biggest focus right now, is trying to get my bench moving.